Hello. In another video that I made, I talked about how to just find campgrounds in a general area. Once you have an idea of where you want to go, let's say if you want to go to there are if you want to go to a state park or a national forest, there are two services for that that are I believe the exclusive booking agencies for these places. They are Reserve America and recreation.gov. So all right, let me open up recreation.gov as well. So the funny thing is these sites they use the exact same setup. Once you get in, you'll see what I'm saying in just a minute. But so once you find an area that you want to go to, if you want to stay at state parks or national forests, the availability of spots is limited, and also the amenities of those spots is also going to be limited. Also, depending on the size of your rig, if you're too big, it's going to be hard to get in. What I'm going to show you today is how to find, especially if you're looking for something quick, like a short stop, I'm going to show you how to find the availability and then kind of go from there quickly. So let's say you're going, okay, we are going to go to Florida and we're going to pass through lots of places along the way, but South Carolina is one of those places. Now, Reserve America is what you use for state parks, and for national forests, you would use recreation.gov. They're almost exactly the same. In fact, the system that they use is the same. I wish they would just merge them, because then I wouldn't have to have two accounts. So when I look at South Carolina, now it says, okay, well, here's some of here's the places that you could go in South Carolina. And this says I'm interested in everything. I want to change this first to say camping and lodging, and now it'll ask you what you're looking for. So I have a travel trailer, so I want to say I'm looking for trailer sites, and then ask me what my length is. This is really key, because if once I change this, and note how many search results we have here. Whenever I change this to say 32 feet, then it's going to filter down the results and say, okay, well, number one, some of these places they're just parks, they're not campgrounds. If they are campgrounds and they don't have a size that's going to accommodate your rig, then it's going to limit your results, so you aren't going to book something you can't stay at. Also, if you need additional stuff like electricity and water and stuff like that. So I want to say I want a 30 amp or more, because that's the size of my camper. And then you can also say water hookup, sewer hookup, whatever. The more stuff that you add, the fewer results that you're going to have. And then also you want to set your arrival date. Now, one of the things here is whenever you set your arrival date, let's say I'm headed down there in March. Let's say I'm traveling. I want to get to my place on Friday, so I'm going to be traveling and staying overnight on Thursday, and I'll get up the next morning. So my night that I want to stay is Friday, and my date is not flexible, and my length of stay is 1 day. Now, I want to pause on this for a second. Let's say you're looking for 1 whole week. You might say 7 days, but if you have a rig like an RV, like a mobile home that you can literally drive from one spot to the other, you don't necessarily need 7 consecutive days. But if you say here that you want 7 days of a stay, that's going to try to book you 7 consecutive days. So keep in mind that if there are oftentimes, and I'll show you this in just a minute, there are oftentimes some spots available for 3 days, and then some spots available for 4 days. And if you're okay with moving from one spot to the next, then this is still a viable option for you if you're looking to stay in a state park. So I'm going to click search now, and I'm going to show you what happens. So now it says, okay, now I've got 46 results, 1 through 10 of 46. So so all of these places looks like they could accommodate me. But what I want to know now is, where are they on the map? So I click View as Map, and that's going to refresh the map. And then note that there are all of these other things here. They're kind of annoying. I don't really want them on the map, but pay attention to the list. So A, B, C, and then, okay, C, Baker Creek, and then I want to look here. Or specifically, I would probably first look in geographic location. This one's in the water, which is interesting. No. So I would go, okay, well, let's say D. Okay, that looks like somewhere that's going to be pretty much near where I want to go. And then I click Book Sites. That then will take me into this view here, where you can see the kind of breakdown of the sites themselves. And note that I'm saying I only want electric hookup, but I don't want water. And if I go back, so anyway, so then I could continue with my booking process and all of that. And also I have a pretty reasonable idea where it's at. And then what I would want to do is I would want to look up, like what is this place like? What is this campground like? Do people like it? I would go through the process that I mentioned in my other video, which is to research the campground, see what the cell service is, see what the amenities around the area are. Is this camp like for us? If the state park is nice, we might not even need to leave the state park for a few days. We might have a ton of fun just going and walking on trails and enjoying the nature. Obviously, this place is close to water, so there's probably some really good photos there. So I want to search this state park and its photos. Okay, so the other thing I want to show you is, let's say we're looking for something for a time that is much more booked up. Like let's say late February in let's say Florida, for example. Let's do that actually. Let's do Florida. So Florida is Florifa. Florida in peak season is in the winter. So what we want to do is we want to say we are looking. Our arrival date is. We want a water hookup, obviously. We don't need a sewer hookup, but let's just do that and see what happens. And I click search, and then okay, it's giving me these, but note that there is no availability. I can go back to the list, and it says okay, well this is first come first serve, 0 sites matching. So it doesn't look like we've got a very probable way to stay anywhere. But watch what happens when I just change one variable, which is the day. Actually, let me do this first. Let me leave that, change sewer hookup. Sewer hookups are not as common in state parks. Okay, so this has 1 matching site, 2 matching sites, 8 matching sites, all of Florida. So in all of Florida, I have 1, 2, 3 available spots for 7 straight days. So this might work out well. So RV or tent. Now, let's say though I want 3 days, 3 consecutive days in an unflexible time frame, and I click search. Now you'll see that I have a lot more options. So now I have like, oh, okay, well I can now look and see. Let's take this Collier Seminole, which is actually in the Everglades. So I click this, and then you can actually see availability details. I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong button. What I actually want to do is click book sites, and now it dives down to the actual date availability range. This is where I can really find some stuff. So as I said earlier, if I'm willing to move and the spots are available, so this one right here is available Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then down here is available the rest of the days. So let's, for my case, I'm 32 feet, so the max vehicle length is 40, so I could fit that spot. It has a water hookup and electric, and it's a back-end situation. This one is is the exact same kind of setup. So I could stay here for 3 days, and then I could move down here the next day and stay for the remainder of days. And if I needed to, if I'm booking online, I can go ahead and say I want this place, and this place, or this place after that. And I could just kind of bounce around the campground and stay for a while. And by the way, the recreation.gov works the exact same way. I'll use Shenandoah Lake, which is one of my favorite examples to use just because I know the campground really well. So I can click check availability here and notice exactly the same layout. The way these things work, I don't know why they don't just roll them all into the same thing. I mean, I guess there's good reasons for that. But so you could use the exact same thing, facility details, facility map, data availability range. It works the exact same way. So you can use recreation.gov and Reserve America to see where you want to stay. So that's why, like I said in the other video, what I first do is I find where I want to go, and then I find out what's available to me. And you might want to stay 7 days, or you might want to stay 14 days, which you can actually stay at a state park 14 consecutive days at a time. in a 1 month. So it's 30 days, but you can only stay 14 consecutive days, I believe, is the rules. They kind of have a weird thing. You have to leave the park and then come back. But anyway, I hope that's helpful to people. This is kind of a trick we found to say, okay, we're okay with moving sites. So what's that look like for us? But so the number of the length of your stay, it needs to be the amount of days that you're comfortable with staying in one site before you move to another site, so that you don't have to leave the park. And this is a really good way to save money, because these places are like $25 to $40 a night, where and that depends on the areas that have high demand. So you could really save a lot of money where you might pay $50 at a RV park. So I hope you found that helpful. Like and subscribe, and we'll keep putting out more videos like this. Thanks.